Hi, Jonathan. Back with you here today. So today we're at 12th of November. What was that? I think it's day 73 on this journey. So yes, I'm back from the States now, which has been like about 5 days away. So what I wanted to do is talk about some of the stuff I gained from that time away, and also how that's now impacting what I'm looking to do this coming month with the two funnels that I've got going. So just before we get into that, I look at yesterday. Yesterday came in at 772, and what did we spend? We spent 350 quid. So we ended up with $458 in ad spend, which gave us a profit of $314 on the day, which is it's not bad. It's certainly closer to where we want to go. I say our target is more in the 400 to 500 range, because I'm looking to double what I spend on the ads. So 500 is our great number. But anyway, not too bad, and at the moment it's at 443 at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So yes, with a bit of luck, we might be up at a similar level by the end of today. But so let's talk about really is what I spent the time doing. So as I say, did a trip to the US, to Boise in Idaho, for a 3-day sort of workshop, primarily all about ads and sales funnels. So with a group of 25 other 25, maybe a bit more, other sort of business owners in all sorts of different niches, looking at hooks, ads, funnels, and what's going on. So because one of the things, notice there I'm saying identify hooks and unboring ads. So one of the things that was the focus was around is actually how to work well with the new Facebook ads platform and the algorithm, because obviously the whole platform now is switched over to being AI and machine learning based. So it's very much about how you feed that system so it can learn what is the right sort of audience for you. So the emphasis is very much on the creative side, very much on the ad side, and the hooks and the messages and the content you're putting out there. Very little these days to do with targeting. Targeting is generally set all very broad, and it's more about you having the right sort of hooks and messages that talk directly to your audience. So the emphasis is very much on the creative, and also a diversity of creative. I mean, you probably see in my ads account when I've gone into it with you, you've seen the fact that I've got probably 10, 12 creatives into a single ad set, using all different types of formats and delivery. So at the moment it seems the carousels are performing really well, but prior to that it was reels, and then it was static images. So it's always moving and changing. But the thing is, it's important that you're constantly looking to refresh your ads and to try and make them unboring, which I have to say probably to date might have not been the most exciting. They've worked okay, but I'm intrigued to know how we can use some slightly sort of different angles, some quirkiness to it, to basically initially attract that attention of my audience, and then have a more compelling message to do with it. So we spent quite a lot of the time over the 3 days literally sort of looking at ads, looking at different funnels, different landing pages, trying to see or trying to be able to understand and analyze where the hooks were, what makes strong hooks, and actually how they were positioned on the page. So gained an awful lot from that in terms of being able to to learn and what makes that good hook. So one of the things that we did in terms of the hook side of things was to rather than just having some copy for a page and then thinking, well, I just need to create a headline for it, really try and get into the hook story. And by that I mean really sort of try and write yourself a small small story, a few paragraphs really, which really explain exactly where your audience is right now and what's going on in their heads right now in terms of your particular area. What's their day-to-day sort of life? What are those pains and frustrations? What sort of things maybe they've tried and failed in the past? Where are some of the gaps and some of the opportunities? So, and really writing that story first, and then looking at that story to say, okay, where is the most compelling reason why somebody would take notice of it? And I say, and then you're really using the unboring is how you're going to tell that story. So I'm hoping with what I'm going to be doing primarily next week is to show you exactly how that works in practice as we start to reshape this funnel 2, which is your first song funnel. Because as I said before, I've paused the ads on that at the moment because it proved the basic concept, but now I need to build a good strong funnel for that, and that's exactly what you're going to see me doing over the next probably 1 to 2 weeks. But first off, some simple things, while that's going on, I always want to be running a split test somewhere. So one of the things I wanted to do in my, move myself up here, in my riffs funnel at the moment. So one of the things that occurred to me in that is the fact that, I very much positioned it around this muscle memory. But in fact, when people go into the course, it is made up of these 3 separate courses, because that's the way we created the products originally. But what I did, I'd sort of bundled them all together. So rather than there was 14 riffs in each of these volumes, I put them all together to make a single 42 thing and repackaged it really around the muscle memory. But what I want to do now is just to see if actually the perception is there's more value if I show 3 packages and 3 courses rather than 1. As I say, once people buy the product and log in, this is exactly what they'll see anyway. So it's good and congruent from that point of view. But I wanted to know whether it's a perceived higher value, because that's what it is. It's all about perceptions. So one split test I'm going to be running is basically to swap out this single image for this 3 volumes, and obviously I'll have to change then the landing page copy to reflect that. So that's my plan for tomorrow. So hopefully by the time I shoot tomorrow's video, I'll have done that and we can see what's going on there. But beyond into next week, what I want to look at, as I say, is repositioning a different hook for this and trying to create up some different ads and campaigns. Now, one thing that's always been a block for me really in this situation is the fact that with these guitar courses I am not the teacher. I've sort of structured and come up with the courses along with a guitar tutor, have paid them to record the things, but actually, so I'm not the guitar teacher, so I can't really just go and create some ads because I'm I'm not a good enough guitarist. I play guitar, but on a very average level. And one of the things that came out from that is the fact that it was stopping me doing any ads because I didn't really know what to say and how to position it. So one of the things that came out again of this trip away was everybody looking at what I was doing, and I said, this is a real problem for me. And they said, well, actually, maybe I could shoot some ads that position me as really just above the beginner level. So, I can literally, play a bit and just say, hey, I'm a very average player. I can't play lead solos, and I can't do, fancy sort of riffs and whatever. But I do know how to play songs and have fun. And, if you want to know how to do that too, then go and check out my mate Andy's course, because, he's helped me get where I am today, sort of thing. So that's the sort of the positioning of myself really in this, is someone who's probably just a bit better than somebody who's actually watching the ad, and try and test out that idea as to whether that's an interesting proposition for someone in terms of an ad, not in terms of actually delivering content, but in terms of an ad, sort of showing myself as someone who's better than probably where the complete beginners are now, and whether that's a better story to have in there. So that's what it means I'm going to be doing, is shooting some short video ads with me playing a bit and then just talking about how I'm incredibly average, but having great fun just playing some simple songs, because I think that's where this product is very much aimed at. It's aimed at people who just want to do that, who are just getting started, and just want that fun of playing songs and feeling like they can play the guitar. So that's where I'm going with that. I'm slightly nervous about doing that, but so we shall see how I get on with that. But also in that package, then I want to create a new bump offer, because we didn't have a bump last time. I've got a little practice session that I'm going to offer that as an order bump. And then something else also I picked up from the workshop was potentially looking at doing an upsell where there's two options in the upsell. So the upsell is either you can buy the next course along, which is volume 2 of this program, or you can buy volume 2 and get a free membership, a free trial membership, to all the other courses as well. Because what I've seen on my other side is that, I do have this low cost membership. Currently it's like about, I think it's $9 a month. So, it's a very low price, but I have a very good stick rate with it, so people tend to stick with it for at least probably 6 months and beyond. So, that really helps with that lifetime customer value side of things in the equation, which is certainly a bit of a weakness currently in my overall funnel strategy. So I'm keen to try and test that as well. And then, we'll get this up and running, but hopefully get all this in place and up and running probably by latter part of next week. See how it goes, and then I can always add further upsells, downsells into the mix. So basically that's the whole of the plan for next week, and then you'll be able to see me do the entire thing from start to finish, from the ads all the way through to the offer page, the bumps and the upsells, and see all that come together, and then start to track as we start to move forward with the ads and see whether any of this stuff works. So anyway, that's all for today. As I say, some great stuff I think hopefully coming along, which I'm hoping you'll find very useful in your own sort of development side of things as well. And depending on how this goes, my thought is that if this runs as I think it might do, then probably by the end of this month I might be looking to reset my target to be a little bit more ambitious than the $240,000 for the year, which is an exciting idea. So we'll see how we get on with that. All right, that's all for today. Thanks very much indeed for watching, subscribing, whatever. And I look forward to catching up with you tomorrow. Bye for now.